Hello, welcome to the new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some move updates, and I found a Twitter thread from my brother TheZzweilous, and he was kind of thinking about certain move updates which we're going to go through to here today. If you're excited for the new season, which is mostly going to be announced somewhere like mostly the next 2 days here as well, there's been already a teaser out today for the next season, so it's very likely that we're going to get very likely tomorrow already the news. I would imagine usually Niantic releases a teaser always 1 day earlier. Then feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. We're going to cover everything else that you kind of need to know for the new season as well. But here today we're going to take a look at some potential move changes that we might face for the new season. Yeah, let's see what kind of suggestions we have here today. First one we're going to have here, it's by the way from November 19th, so basically a week ago, we're going to have Starmie. Starmie is an interesting Pokemon, and I do actually think this is a very interesting decision here as well. Here, my brother asked to give this Pokemon Psywave. Of course, if you don't know my brother, I think he has now 4 medals already from regional medals, very strong player, a lot of intel towards the meta, and just generally speaking has a lot of ideas towards on how to change it. And as you can see here, we're going to have Starmie with the fast move of Psywave. Recently been definitely buffed by quite a bit and added onto something like a Melima. Starmie definitely going to benefit quite a bit from it as well, especially as it recently also received the buff of Power Gem, which it already had before, but then it still needs another move to get very, very strong, because otherwise the best next charge move would be Ice Beam, which kind of leaves you with a little bit of an odd move pool where you just don't have a cheap move, and here they suggest that either Surf or Icy Wind would make a lot of sense for me. I went here for just the example for Surf, and let's see on how good the update from Starmie is going to be with Psywave as well as Surf added onto this Pokemon. And as you can see here, this is going to be a very good update. I think it's going to be actually a very interesting one, because Starmie doesn't have the best bulk, but also one thing for Starmie, it doesn't really have a fast move currently in the game, which is kind of hilarious, but this would kind of change definitely a lot for this Pokemon, while not making it overpowered, but giving it a lot of play, as the Water and Psychic typing is very, very strong, but we don't really have a good user of this one yet. We only have like Slowbros and stuff like this, but we don't really have a good user for this kind of typing, even though it has a lot of potential in the current meta. And so I would definitely agree that this would be a very interesting play, or a very interesting Pokemon to see buffed for the next season. Next Pokemon, we're going to have Pelipper. And here, my brother is going to suggest to add Gust on this Pokemon, giving a little bit more fast move pressure while still maintaining some solid pacing towards the Weather Ball. And this is something that I definitely kind of agree with as well. I feel like Flying type Pokemon are a bit too dead at the current time. I do agree that the Wing Attack nerf is something that was needed, but I also do agree that some of the Flying type Pokemon should definitely come back again, as there's definitely a good niche for those Pokemon currently, and we don't really have anything to fill it. And here Pelipper with Gust is an interesting choice as well. But what we're going to see here as well, it is not going to be the biggest upgrade for it. It is going to be an upgrade. It's still going to make this Pokemon very interesting, but it's like not the biggest upgrade ever. Still, I would like to see this upgrade, not as much as Starmie, but this Pokemon still would benefit quite decently from the update of giving it Gust instead of Wing Attack, as Gust, if you didn't know, is by the way a Confusion clone, which you know, especially with the last meta where Confusion users were very, very strong. But yeah, this Pokemon here for sure has a lot of play with the fast move of Gust. Next one. I actually added this one already in a different video. Around a month ago I made already videos towards the new season and what kind of move changes I want to see, so you can check it out on the channel as well here. But yeah, here we're going to have Bibarel with a Rollout. We already took a look at this one beforehand as well, and this is definitely something I could see quite, decently there, because Bibarel and Rollout, I feel like it's like something that is also kind of commonly seen in the main series games, something like this. I don't know, like it's definitely something I knew that this Pokemon would be using, like having access to the move beforehand already. As you guys see here, there's going to be a big upgrade for this Pokemon, and the normal plus Water typing is actually really good, because it's going to be able to counter a lot of the common Pokemon. For example, Drifblim has no play against this Pokemon here, especially then with a Rollout, you're even doing super effective damage against them. You have Hyper Fang and Surf, you even have, I think, Hyper Beam on Bibarel, which would be kind of interesting here as well. And it has great coverage. Like, if you're going to take a look, and especially like, it is going to have great coverage defensively with the normal and Water typing, but also still has some decent pressure against the current meta. I would really like to see this Pokemon as well succeed. But then again, there are also so many Rollout users that are normal type that I don't too sure if we're gonna need another normal type rollout user, I have to say. I rather would like to see some other rollout users. So again, cool update here for sure, but I'm not too sure if it is something that I would like to see, just mainly because they have so many normal type rollout users. Yes, this is going to be a bit different thanks to the secondary typing, but still, yeah, just maybe a different type would be kind of cool as well. Next on, Scizor, definitely one of the coolest Pokemon ever here apparently. Got access to a Trailblaze, which got buffed as well, and now here they're gonna ask to give Bullet Punch plus 1 energy, which we of course gonna do. That's going to make it a Shadow Claw clone, which I feel like is definitely very solid. Why is it very solid? Basically, Shadow Claw, very strong fast move, most likely the strongest fast move currently in the game. The thing is, though, with this fast move is Ghost typing is a great offensive typing, while Bullet Punch with his Steel typing is quite a bad offensive typing. What this means is you don't really have a lot of Pokemon that you hit for super effective damage, and a lot of Pokemon resisted that are very common. For example, Water type, most common type in Pokemon Go, resist the Steel typing. Really, Steel typing only has one good matchup, and that's going to be against Fairy type Pokemon, as like Rock and Ice type Pokemon, where it's also super effective, are quite rare because those are offensive typing, which are generally speaking very bad in Pokemon Go. So it is definitely not overpowered to make it a Shadow Claw clone, because it is not as viable as Shadow Claw would be, and Bullet Punch still would be definitely a solid move to use, but it's not going to be overpowered whatsoever. What we will see as well, that it's definitely going to give this Pokemon a big upgrade. Going from 460 average rating to 485, while still going to have a lot of coverage and being very good in the 2-sheet scenario as well, thanks to the Trailblaze boost. And so yeah, I would imagine this Pokemon would be one of the stronger Pokemon as well, and definitely would make it usable while not breaking the meta as well. And so far, I actually really enjoy every single change, and I would imagine that all of those changes would be very good for the current meta, and that is something that is already very nice to see. But how it's going to be about the next one. We're going to have Gliscor here, and we're gonna add Sand Attack. And here's one thing, I'm just kind of sick of those Gliscor's Gligar. Like, I do understand like the idea behind trying to get those Pokemon back, especially as a lot of people build this one. I do kind of like this in terms of getting like flying type Pokemon back. And yes, Sand Attack, as you're gonna see as well, is gonna give you a very good upgrade. But then again, I just don't really like the Gliscor typing because it's such a strong typing. It's like a very strong typing, I feel like, with the flying and ground typing. Because flying weak to something like electric type Pokemon, you're going to be able to cover it with ground. And it's just a very solid synergy. Like, I feel like a lot of type Pokemon just get kind of walled by it. And so Gliscor definitely would benefit quite a bit from this one. You could even run different kind of movesets. You could even run something like a Night Slash. You could run, if you want to, I think, can you get the purification done and then run return? I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely a lot of kind of ways of running this Pokemon here. It has also access to Rock Tomb as far as I know. And so yeah, this is going to be an interesting one for sure. Would definitely like to see this move update as well. I think Sand Tank on Gliscor would make a lot of sense, as there are not really a lot of Sand Attack users currently that are very meta, only really Hippowdon. I feel like it would be kind of cool to have another one that uses this fast move that is definitely very solid. Piloswine, getting access to Icicle Spear here. Icicle Spear is something that I definitely would like to see on a little bit more more Pokemon. For example, Lapras would learn this move as well. Icicle Spear, very solid move here, and while Avalanche is already on the Piloswine, and Avalanche is one of the strongest moves in the game, having a 2 damage per energy rating, which is really strong. So like you need 45 energy to do 90 damage, which is really strong. It is a bit awkward because of the pacing, and as you're gonna see here, this is gonna getting fixed by the Icicle Spear. Icicle Spear is going to be able to just have a little bit of better pacing, allowing it to do like plus 70 overall rating, plus 3 wins, making it a little bit of a stronger Pokemon. And even the Shadow variant will most likely even be a little bit better here as well. And this is definitely kind of great, as yeah, Icicle Spear definitely something I would like to see on the Piloswine. Rock Tomb, we already talked a little bit about it before. Here, their suggestion is kinda, to do it basically like Icy Wind and Mystical Fire, and I definitely would see that this is going to be a good play. Currently it's 70 damage for 60 energy, and here they suggest 60 damage for 45 energy, just like basically Mystical Fire and Icy Wind. As you can see here, the impact is quite decent. Definitely gonna benefit quite a bit from it, like Fortress here, and other Pokemon going to benefit quite a bit from it as well. So yeah, I actually do agree with this play, like with this kind of change as well. I do think it's going to be a decent addition to the meta if Rock Tomb would get changed to this. And I feel like it also makes a little bit more sense because it kind of more ties in towards other moves that are very similar, like Ice Wind or Mystical Fire. So I would actually like to see this one happening. I think it would make a lot of sense. And we can now move on to the next one. Heatwave is going to be next. So currently Heatwave apparently is 95 damage and 75 energy, being a horrible move. Like if you just listen to what I said about Avalanche, Avalanche is 90 damage, so 5 less, but for 45 energy, 30 less energy for, yeah, that is kind of ridiculous. Here is just basically getting a Drill Run clone, which is 80 damage, 45 energy, and give it to some fun things here, like Salazzle, which I'm just gonna take a look at here because it's currently on the screen. And so let's take a look on if Salazzle actually gets improved by this one. And we're gonna see here already, Incinerate, Poison Fang, and Dragon Pulse is the current moves that you would want to run. And of course, the Dragon Pulse is going to now go away here, and we're going to be able to use the new move of Heatwave, which got buffed basically to a Drill Run clone. As you're gonna see here, it barely does anything. Like literally it barely does anything. Actually gonna lose a one or more matchup here, which is quite ridiculous. And yeah, maybe I just did something wrong here or whatever, but I actually just do think that this Pokemon is not the best example for this move. It is generally speaking the better move to go for. Having a Drill Run clone always going to be very, very strong because Drill Run is a very strong move. And so yeah, this is definitely a Pokemon that I would like to see as well, but I don't think actually the impact is too crazy with the move update. The next one is something I would say is never going to happen. It's going to be Weather Ball Rock Bronzong. I still kind of want to talk about it. Yes, it would make this Pokemon very, very strong. I am totally aware of it. I do agree that it would be a great play in order to buff it a little bit without completely nerfing it as well, or like having to nerf it like afterwards again because it's too strong. But what we're gonna see as well is that Weather Ball Rock is usually, like Weather Ball is a move that only has been given to Pokemon with certain abilities in the main series games. And Bronzong is not one of them. Like you either have to have an ability that can take advantage of like a weather condition or summon the weather condition. And Bronzong, I don't think has any of this one. It has Heat Proof, Levitate, I think some Metal Bodies thing or whatever as well going on there as an ability. So like this Pokemon is not really having any impact towards, and I don't think that they, like Niantic, gonna give out Weather Ball to anything that's not related to weather. And so I highly doubt that a Weather Ball Rock is going to be something that Bronzong ever gonna get. Would make it of course a bit better, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. Next one, I also don't really like the approach of it. Vespiquen here, asking for lunch basically. Yes, it's going to make this Pokemon better instead of the Scizor. Definitely going to make this Pokemon quite a bit better as well without making it broken. So I do actually, generally speaking, agree for this play. But what I like to see as well is just get new moves with the bug typing, and basically that's kind of all that I would like to see as well here. Like bug type moves would be really, really cool. Like the move U-turn would be something I would like to see in the game, and there are a lot of other bug type moves that I would also like to see in the game. But yeah, here Lunge, of course, it would be an approach as well. But even if we would be able to change something like the Poison Sting to the U-turn, making U-turn basically something like a Volt Switch clone, it would be most likely even better and more consistent for other Pokemon. But yeah, here definitely Lunge would help out quite a bit. And with this, we're going to be able to now go to the final segment of this video. And here we're just going to talk a bit about what they say for nerfs and other stuff here. We're going to have a bubble damage reduction, which is basically just for Azumarill, which I could see as well. Azumarill had been dominating the meta recently, and I don't feel like the recent bubble buff really was necessary. Hydro Cannon energy and damage increase, I could see this happening as well. I could see that something like a Frenzy Plant clone would make a lot of sense here, as the pacing is just the main issue for this move. Then we're going to have Dragon Dance. I like this play as well there, because Dragon Dance, or like here in general speaking, something that doesn't really do that much damage per turn, but does way more energy per turn. It would be kind of nice, because currently both of the Dragon type fast moves that we have in Dragon Tail and Dragon Breath basically do the same. And with this, we're going to have here a bit of a different function there, as you're going to be able to generate energy a bit faster. And then we're going to have some more messing, like send text with payback Obstagoon. Yeah, that's never going to happen. And give Loud Rust everything, Polar Snow, Sparkling Area. Yeah, that would be also something I would like to see. But yeah, this is mostly not going to happen ever as well. And so this is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you want to see some more content towards the new season, then feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.